Hey everyone, Melissa Carver here.
What's up, y'all? It's Leo.
So today we wanted to talk about time. And I've noticed a meme that is going around on social media that says you have the same 24 hours in the day as Beyonce. And then I also watched the show on Bill Gates on Netflix. And Melinda Gates also made the same statement to the interviewer that all of us have the same 24 hours that Bill has.
Right.
I think that's a lie. What do you think?
I understand their sentiment, but I think I also know why you would say it's a lie. But continue. I think I know where you're going.
I mean, yeah, we have the same 24 hours, of course.
Right.
But we don't have the same privileges as they have as far as how we schedule out our time. When you think about Bill's life, the show kind of went over, his life, and he went straight into 24 hours a day almost working on Microsoft. I mean, he was living in a small apartment. He even said himself he had laundry piled up on the floor. He got up and he went straight to work and slept very few hours often in a night.
Well, see, I think that's actually the point that they're trying to make is that that's the kind of dedication you have to whatever you're doing. And so, when you have responsibilities and things like most of us do, that doesn't seem realistic.
Exactly. Right.
So I see your point there. But I think it's still a matter of choices. And sometimes those can be very hard choices for us, as far as where you want to go. And then, you reap the benefits or do not reap the benefits.
And that's what I really want to talk about, those choices. Women especially are, we always feel like we have to have things done. There's this big long to-do list, and majority of it revolves around the household and children and so forth. So you have to learn to let that go. If you have to order dinner in and not cook sometimes, if there's dishes in the sink, if the house is cluttered up, that's okay. If you're working on your goals, that just has to play second fiddle, and you're not any less of a woman or a wife or a mother because those things aren't done. That's put into our head a lot, that you're a bad mom if your house isn't spotless, or you're a bad wife if you're the one that's home the most and dinner's not on the table as soon as the spouse walks into the door.
Right. And I totally understand that. But I think that's also kind of what they're getting at with the Gates story and others who have been successful entrepreneurs and such. Exactly what you're saying. You gotta let that stuff go. And it's easier, I think, when it's just you that you're concerned with. But,
much easier.
I think it does take a certain level of dedication. And maybe not even that extreme, but it also depends on how fast you want results and how you're going about getting those results, I guess.
Right, and having a team. I mean, we think about they're saying Beyonce, for example. So you think about Beyonce, she started as a child, and her mom and her dad were dedicated to making her successful. And then that just snowballed into a larger and larger team that is around her at all times to help construct that success. It takes a team. And right now, if you're just one person who can't afford to pay a team or don't necessarily have those family members, then you have to decide, okay, I'm going to let this go and work on what's going to get you to that ultimate goal.
I agree. And also, I think it depends on what stage, you're at with things. Like if you're just starting out, then yeah, it definitely takes just a letting go. But if you already have, like, this is something you've been working towards for a while, that kind of thing, then there's some, like, general practices you can do, like just working gradually on things. It may take you longer to get there, but
30
you don't
minutes
necessarily...
to an hour a day.
Yeah, you don't necessarily have to give it up, if it's something you're still dedicated to.
And manifesting that team that is going to help you. Not worrying so much about it being the people that are already around you. It may be them, it may not be.
Right.
We want it to be our friends and our family.
Not.
And then we kind of get stuck in that hamster wheel of wondering why these people aren't supporting us. Like, is it not as great as we envision it to be? No, that's not necessarily true. They just don't see your vision or understand how to help get you there. Sometimes it's just about communication too, and
Right.
letting everyone know what you feel like you need in that moment.
Right. And also understand that you're not going through it alone. So building that team is possible because, you know, for everything that you may need as part of your team, there's probably somebody out there who's also reaching for a certain level of success or independence that if you connect with them, y'all can help each other. You know, these things, especially with the internet, are possible. So you don't have to necessarily give up. You know, you just keep your focus and keep your mind centered in general. And I think if you keep working at things, it does pay off eventually. You know, and even if it doesn't work out how you want it to, you know, you'll still get further along than not doing anything.
And not looking at those people like a Beyonce or a Bill Gates and thinking, what's too late for me? I'm never going to get to that point. That's
Right.
not how my life started out. I don't have that team. I didn't have parents to help me out financially and so forth. We can get caught up in that ball all day long. But there's a lot of people who didn't have a team, didn't have the money financially, and still make it.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. And I think ultimately, even those statements was really just meant as motivation.
But is it motivation or
but
it?
you know, right. When there's somebody, you know, who doesn't have those circumstances looking at it, you know, then you know good and well it's not about a dedication or it's not about the work you put in. It is a little bit of it about like chance and opportunities. And anybody who denies that is not being realistic.
But that
You know?
I think that can also be discouraging, which is why I wanted to talk about it. I think people
Yeah.
look at that and say, well, I don't. Yeah, there are 24 hours in a day, but I have to cook and clean. When was the last time you think Bill Gates been to the grocery store? I just watched him on Ellen where they were playing like a Price is Right game. He guessed Totino's pizza rolls at $22 a bag.
Right.
I mean, that shows you this man does not grocery shop.
Right, but if he's speaking in the past tense, we have to consider the fact that, you know, obviously it wasn't always like that, and he's been successful for a long time. So maybe he doesn't know about the grocery store now, you know. But
Exactly, but that's kind of my point is let that stuff go.
yeah, exactly.
He had to let that
He had
go.
to let it go. True.
You're going to either have to have someone on your team to do that for you that is part of your family unit, or you're going to have to pay someone else to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And budgeting that out, figuring out what you're going to let go, what you can let go, what you can pay someone else to do.
Right.
I think we often have it in our minds that we have to be the ones doing all of the things around the house.
Right. And you know, that's something I had a realization about it a few years ago. There's a friend who has a cleaning service, and I was realizing that, you know, a lot of times we think, oh, that's just for rich people and stuff. But like if you're like, say, running a business from home or doing something else where you're extremely busy, you know, actually research some of this. Sometimes it's not that expensive. It's not, it would be worth your time.
Right, for
And
you
that
to
stress to
continue
just-
building on that goal.
Yeah, to just like, you know, some of these services are not that bad. You know, really, if you budget it out and everything, like, okay, well, somebody comes in, there's a crew that comes in and cleans my house, you know, once every couple of weeks or once a month even. You know, that can go a long way for
Or
your
hiring
stress.
the neighbor to mow the grass.
Yeah, things like that. I mean, you have to rethink a lot of things, I think, when it comes to changing your status in life and just accomplishing things. You know, a lot of the reason why people tend to stay at a certain place is because of programming, as you speak about a lot. You know, and that programming is deep. You know, it's not always about the actual thing you're thinking. Sometimes it's about the way you're thinking.
Exactly right.
You know,
Right.
so just a little tidbit.
And of course, speaking of time, meditation also always
Yes.
opens up more time and leads our intuition in the right directions.
Right.
And things like building that team
Mhm.
and choosing those people, going with what does my intuition say about this? Or helping you to get to that frequency where that person finds you. You don't have to worry about finding them anymore. They find
Right.
you.
Right. Because things work by attraction, you know, and if you're in the right space, you're obviously going to be more likely to attract these other opportunities and these helping hands.
So let us know what you're doing to help structure and gain more time in your life and reach your goals in the comments below. And don't forget to hit subscribe. Head over to Leo's channel for some guided meditations. And we'll see y'all next week. Bye.
Bye.